Good afternoon, class. On behalf of Department of Information Science and Engineering, we are conducting an SDP program on advanced learning techniques in analog and digital electronic circuits in association with ISTE. We are privileged to have Professor Raghunandan GS, Assistant Professor, Department of Electronics and Telecommunication, BMS Institute of Technology and Management, Bengaluru. Dear Raghunandan sir, on behalf of ISC Department and Professor Reshma, welcoming you for the expert talk.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Professor Raghunandan did his BE in ECE from Rava Institute of Technology, Bangalore. MTech from AMC College of Engineering. Currently, he is pursuing PhD from VTU University, Belgaum. His area of interest are wireless sensor and ad hoc, networks renewable energy, unmanned aerial vehicle technology. He got 10 years of experience, currently working as Assistant Professor in Department of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering at BMS Institute of Technology and Management, Bengaluru. He is also Deputy Placement Officer of the same. Few of his achievements and awards are: he received Best Professor for Electronics and Communication Engineering Award by Karnataka Educational Awards 2019 held at Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, Bengaluru. He co-authored 2 textbooks with Professor Charles Roth, University of Texas at Austin. He also received Best Professor for Electronics and Communication Engineering Award by Karnataka Educational Awards in 2018 as well at Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, Bengaluru. He also awarded Best Paper Award for the research paper which was presented in DRDO CISR sponsored 9th Conference on Control and Instrumentation System 2012 at Manipal Institute of Technology, Manipal. He is currently serving as a reviewer for Springer Journals on Wireless Communications and Networking since July 2018, London, UK. He is also serving as a reviewer for IEEE Communication Journals and also worked as reviewer in the field of wireless sensor networks for Asian Journal of Current Research, International Knowledge Press, Manchester, UK. He also published various books. Few among them are Analog and Digital Electronics. This book is prescribed as the main textbook for both CSE and ISE of VTU as per 2018 syllabus. Microcontroller and embedded system. This is also a prescribed test as the main reference book for CSE or ISE of VTU 2018 syllabus. Another book is Fundamentals of Logical Design. This is the main reference book for EC and ETE of VTU University 2018 scheme. Basic Electronics, a simplified approach is also another book published by Raghunandan sir in September 2018. In total, he got 28 publications, 12 IEEE International publication, 8 Scopus Index Journal publication, and 8 international publication. Thank you, sir. We are privileged to have you with us. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much for introducing me to the gathering, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Is my slides visible?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay. Good afternoon, one and all present here. Firstly, I thank Department of IAC for inviting me for the session. So it's my pleasure to be a part of this session and to interact with you people. So myself Raghunandan, and my introduction is already given. So today we'll be discussing about advanced learning techniques in analog and digital electronic circuits. So in ADE, already the respective faculties have already told you many things, and they have already discussed the syllabus with you. Today, my session will be more of industry oriented rather than more of syllabus oriented, because for whatever we study, we should know why we are studying it and what are the opportunities we are having it. Because you are in third semester, and this is the right time to sharpen yourself towards the targeted goals. How you can get different opportunities at the government level, industry level, and especially at the student level, because we are at right time at this particular time we have to think about what you can gain at this level, at the student level, rather than thinking more about future. So I'm going to discuss both what you can do at this time and what you can do after engineering also. And also we'll be discussing about the various aspects, how to prepare yourself for the placement. Also, what is the need of analog and digital electronics in your field domain. First, we know that we are into engineering domain. So first, who is an engineer? Whom we call as an engineer? So engineer is as a practitioners of engineering. These are the professionals who are going to invent, design, analyze, build, test machines, complex systems, structures, gadgets, and materials. So he is the person whom we call as an engineer. So they try to fulfill the functional objectives. So what is the output we want from a particular product or particular design, what we are expecting to make our life easier. So to fulfill the functional objective and requirements while considering the limitations. See, there are many limitations we have to consider when we are going to design something, because it should be practical. We might think many ideas might come to our mind, but it should be practical enough, and it should be useful for all the types of situations. And also there are some regulations from the government, governing bodies, and we have to look about the safety of of the persons who are handling it, and also about the cost. If it is too costlier, no one is going to willing to buy that. So all these things should be kept in mind, and who is going to fulfill this objective? He'll be the engineer. So engineer is an art or profession. Some will tell it's an art, some will tell it's a profession. So let us see what is it. The art of directing the great sources of power in nature for use and convenience of man. It is a it's a very old uh, statement what we give for engineering. So engineers provides basically public service, not only in the goods and service they create for betterment of the society. We are the engineers, we should be proud about ourselves. We are working for the betterment of the society. Whatever we do today, that is for the public society. Whatever you might develop a product, you might develop an app, you might develop a website. Everything is having a cause, when everything is having some reason behind it, so which is going to help the society. So service they create for the betterment of society, but also by placing the safety of the public high on their design criteria. Whatever comes to your mind, you cannot. You have to keep the safety in the mind. Now, is it an art or a profession? That is a confusion many of us have. Is it an art or a profession? Can we call ourselves as an artist, or when can we call ourselves as a professional? So, for this, the modern definition of engineering by ABT, so it is Accrediting Board for Engineering and Technology, they have defined who is an engineer or what is engineering. It's a profession, it's not an art, it's a profession in a particular discipline, which is a knowledge of mathematical and natural sciences gained by study, experience, and practice, which is applied with judgment to develop ways to utilize economically the materials and the forces of the nature for the benefit of mankind. Finally, whatever we do, it is for the benefit of the mankind. And we are into disciplines. What is this discipline? So you are in ISC, that is one discipline. We are into computer science, civil, that is one discipline. So it's a discipline where we are going to work. So finally, the statement which is given by ABT is a person applying his mathematical and science knowledge properly for mankind is called as an engineer. So that's why for engineering, science is the science or a diploma in engineering is mandatory to join engineering. Otherwise, if you don't use mathematics or science, then a person who is with a arts background, commerce background, even they could have also joined. But this engineering needs mathematical and science knowledge because for everything what we speak, what we do, we need logic behind that. We need proof for that. Whatever. So when we talk about the proof, mathematics will come because mathematics is the one where we can prove anything with a definite result. So coming to the core topics, why electronics? So before going for why ADE, why analog and digital electronics, let us know why electronics. So electronics is widely used in information processing, telecommunication, and signal processing. Basically, when someone asks what is electronics, we tell it is a branch of physics which is going to deal with respect to flow of charges or electrons, or deal with electrons, study of electrons, behavior. That is a simple definition we'll give. But what is the use of it, electronics, in our day-to-day life? It is used in information processing, that is where IT field will come. Telecommunication, that is where EC people will come. Signal processing, again, electronics and IT both come into picture. So the ability of this electronic device to act as switch makes the digital information processing possible. So we cannot have only the software or we cannot have only the program with us. We need some platform to run this. So that platform is given by electronics. So interconnection of different technologies such as the circuit boards, electronic packaging technology, that is ICs, and other varied forms of communication infrastructure. It might be a Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, anything, infrared communication, or anything. So all put together, we form an electronic system. Among that electronic system, which is going to work for a particular functionality, is one of the example is computer. So computer, behind the computer, electronics is there. So the mother of digital computer is digital electronics, we tell, because based on that only everything has developed. Now, in electronics, when we talk, we have two aspects. One is analog electronics, other one is digital electronics. So when we talk about analog is the one which is going to change with respect to other parameter. So these are all the electronic systems with continuously variable signal. If you take a sine wave, sinusoidal wave, it's an analog signal because it is varying with respect to time. Anything that varies with respect to time is known as analog. So in contrast with digital electronics, in digital electronics, we have only two possible values, 1 and 0. But in analog electronics, how many values you can have? You can have n number of values. If you take a 5-volt signal, peak to peak signal, you can start from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, it will come back 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, minus 1, minus 2, like that. It will go on with the negative. So again, we can split it up into 0 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2. Again, you can split it up into 0.25, 0.5, 0.75. Again, you can split it into 0.1, 0.2, 0.3. Again, you can split it into 0.01, 0.02, like this. So you can have n number of values in analog signals. But in digital electronics, you can only have two possible values, that is 0 and 1. That is because of that reason where we are going to use the digital electronics in our majority of the aspects in the computer systems. So the term analog describes the proportional relationship between a signal and a voltage or a current. You can define a signal with respect to voltage, or you can define a signal with respect to current versus time or frequency. Whenever someone will ask you what is the basic content of an analog signal, means its amplitude, voltage of that signal, its time period or frequency of the signal, and phase, the angle what it is taking, whether it is starting from 0 degree, whether it is starting from 90 degree, like that. So these are all the parameters that comes into analog signal. See, lot of things are there in analog electronics. Even as one sinusoidal signal can give you lot of meaning from that. If a signal is starting from 90 degree, we call, oh, this is a cosine signal. If a signal is starting from 0 degree, we tell, oh, it is a sine wave. So you can just see by just the figure, by just seeing the wave, we can tell what is the kind of trigonometric angles comes there. But in our digital electronics, there are only two things, simple, one or zero. Either it should be one or it should be zero. So that's why the digital electronics has taken major part in the electronic field. But we cannot uh, forget analog electronics, because the mother of digital electronics is again analog electronics. So where I told you the mother of digital computer is digital electronics, again the mother of digital electronics is analog electronics. So digital electronics is a field of electronics which involves digital signals and engineering of devices that use or produce them. So many of our household items use digital electronics, because wherever we use the ICs, integrated chips, ICs, so there we'll be using digital electronic technology, because ICs integration, where very large scale integration process takes place, that is a technology, VLSI technology. Based upon that VLSI technology, or using that VLSI technology, we have designed the chip. So again, that chip is designed based on digital electronics. So this could be digital electronics means, again the gates will come into picture, and gate, not gate, NAND gate, all those things will come. To design this, again we need analog electronics. I'll tell why we need analog electronics for digital electronics. So what are the different household items we know every day to day? We see laptops, television, remote controls, all of them, will dishwashers, washing machines, all of them are made up of the digital electronics technology. Now, coming to analog and digital electronics, why we have this subject? Why we want to learn this analog and digital electronics? What they both of them together can do? Because you might have heard about a company called Analog Devices. The company name itself is Analog Devices. They are working more on analog. Okay, now we tell everything is digital India or anything, but still we need to have our analog, because whatever we have in our nature, see, our nature is analog, system is digital, but nature is analog. If I have any two systems, let us take, I have one computer here and another computer here. I want to transform the information inside the system. It will be processing using digital electronics. But once the signal is coming out, once the information is coming out of the system or out of that particular computer or any mobile, the signal has to be converted to analog form, because our nature will support analog signals. So because our nature is having waves, because of that waves, different waves only, we are able to transmit the signal for any distances. So we have to, in order to have a correlation with nature, waves in the nature, we have to convert the digital signals back to analog signal. Again, the signal is going to transmit in the air, and finally it is going to reach the destination, again where a system is there. Again, the system needs a digital format. Again, the system is going to convert back this analog to digital electronics, and again it will be, everything will be in terms of zeros and ones. Again, the system process, and we'll get whatever we require. So from this, what we understand from this application is we need both. we need to have the knowledge of both, because analog and digital circuitry is the foundation of digital computer. Because if you are going for IC, I told digital electronics is needed. To make that gate, you need a transistor. Transistor is an analog device. So without transistor, you cannot make these gates. Without gates, you cannot make this digital computers or an IC. So there is interlink. That's why we are going to study both analog and digital electronics. So this both together forms different home appliances, alarm systems, heating systems, medical electronics, machine control, automations. All those things are because of this combination of analog and digital electronics. Digital electronics evolved from transistor circuitry. I was telling transistor is an analog device. So from that we got this digital electronics, where we talk only about AND gate, NOT gate, where we give one, a NOT gate, where we give one, it gives zero. We talk only two things, but transistor is an analog device which is going to work with analog values. So why we go for digital electronics? Because it is easy to fabricate. The complexity is less in digital electronics compared to analog electronics. And the desired output value will be having only two values. One is 1, logic 1, or logic 0. Logic 1 means high. So it is usually in analog terms, it is considered as plus 5 volt. Low means logic 0. In analog value, it is 0 volt. So this is how we are going to equate them. Now, so what is the difference between this digital and analog systems? So digital is the one where we are going to operate on discrete digits. Discrete means either ones or zero. There is no continuation, one or zero, 1 1 1 1 or 0 0 0. Only two values will be there. Analog means it is a continuously varying. See, when we measure a pressure, velocity, position, everything, it is continuously varying with respect to time. So we are moving in a vehicle and we are going to measure the velocity. It is in analog form because it is varying with respect to time. We cannot have 100 kilometer for 6 hours. You might have decreased somewhere or you might have increased somewhere. So the speed might be increasing or decreasing. So there is a variation there. So there are such variations wherever you are having such systems are known as analog systems. So where you are going to use this analog systems? So we are going to use this and to measure and respond to continuously varying electrical or physical magnitudes. See, temperature will be varying. We have seen morning it was cloudy, it was raining, now it is sunny weather we have outside. So it is continuously varying. So temperature you have to measure. Yes, it's an analog form. It is not constant. Pressure, again, it is different. It is an analog form. Velocity, position. Morning you are at home. Now you might be reach some position, some place. So morning we were at home. Now we are in the college. So it is change. There is change in the position. We are not at a fixed position. So position. Whenever we determine a position, that is also an analog system. When it comes to digital, we talk only about numbers, letters, symbols, like that. That's why in our IP address and all, we are having only the numbers or the letters, some symbols will be having. So the digital signals, strictly they are going to work on or off. Only two things. On means one, off means zero. So they are represented by zeros and ones. So this is a brief differences, the basic knowledge you should have. So now, see both we have taken an example here. You can see this is an analog signal where we can see with respect to time and voltage, I have plotted this waveform. So this signal is continuously varying. The value is not constant. Within this time duration, you can see how much variation it has taken. But see here, in this time duration, it is zero only. In this time duration, it is one only. In this time duration, it is zero only. See, if you take the same time here, it has multiple values, but at the same time, it is having a single value. And we'll take an example. We are having analog watch, we are having a digital watch. Both are showing same time. The analog watch is also showing 8:32. The digital watch also showing 8:32. but see the formats. The format are different. Both are doing same functionality, but the format is different. Now the question comes into picture. So why do we need to use the digital representation in the world that is naturally analog? Because our world is analog. It keeps changing. Nature keeps changing. Weather keeps changing. Based upon that, so the waves will be the waves. There is a fluctuation in the waves. Everything is so. Finally, you can tell the nature is in analog. World is in analog. But still, why we need this digital representation? For that, we'll take an example. See, where I have represented, there is a digital representation of analog quantities. If I try to represent an analog signal in digital format, in the last case, we have discussed about, I have taken an voltage versus time, and there was only two values, continuous two values. But here, if we want to represent, I want, let us assume that I want to make the values very simple. I don't want to remember this point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4, and all. I want some only zeros and ones I want to remember. Okay, let us represent this analog signal by using zeros and ones. You can see at this particular position, the value is this much. This is the value in digital representation of analog value. At this position, this is the value. At this position, this is the value. So even though you want to make it more simple to, you need to remember this many number of value. This is the digital representation of the analog value, because analog value is changing. So automatically the digital representation will also be keep on changing. So we have an unlocked digital converter. I was telling at the beginning while giving an example, when a system wants to give out a signal, it has to give out analog signal. So in order to convert this digital format to analog format, we use digital to analog converters. We call it as DAC, DAC. And at the when it wants to receive a signal, it will be using ADC, analog to digital converter. So here I have taken an example of analog to digital converter. I have a signal, analog signal, which is of 2 volts, which is getting converted in digital format. So the equivalent to 2 volt equivalent is, this is the sequence which is the equivalent digital representation of this analog value. So from this, at least we have got some glimpse about what is the difficulties we face with analog quantities, why we are going for digital representation, and what is the difference between analog and digital, all those things. So we are just making our work easier and faster. Now, so one more thing. See, I was telling, so we had everything is analog form. So we might think, why can't our even our internal circuitry can work with our IC can work with analog signals only. See, what happens is whenever a signal is going to transmit in air, because of the interference, some unnecessary noises, that is unwanted noises or signals, they mix up. Because of that, what happens? The signal, whatever I had transmitted, initially I had transmitted this analog signal. By the time it has reached the receiver end, it has become like this. But see, if you get a signal like this, and if you are using the analog device and you want to get the output by using completely analog device, then it is going to consider even this part also, the noise also. And this noise, it can easily, this analog irregularities we call. These irregularities can be heard by human ear. See, whenever there is some, when the particular bandwidth is not matching, we get some noise, no? So that we can observe in ear. But if the same thing, if you give it to the system, which is going to use completely analog electronics, then it is going to give an error. Whatever we actually want to receive, we might not be able to receive. We'll be receiving something else because my signal, this part of the signal has been lost. This part of the signal has been lost and something has mixed up. So something has mixed up. You can see, so large part of the signal is being lost here. But when it comes to digital, we can use a simple, you might have already come across in basic electronics and even in the in AD subject, we have a comparator which is going to compare. So then if you are going to use a digital electronics, so obviously there will be only two values, one or zero. It is very simple to decide. So if you are getting the signal, if you are getting this signal, it is one. If you are getting a lower signal, it is decided it is zero only. Whether it is having distortion or not, the system can consider it as zero. Again, it goes to one. Again, it goes to zero. Again, here, the signal which is received after conversion, it is in digital format. So, but still, it is having some distortion. But still, it is going to consider it as plus one. That is a logic one. So it looks still, even though it is having some distortion, it looks like on. Even though here it is having, even though it is having some noise here, it looks like off. So this is the speciality or advantage which has each individual waves have. Coming to this is about the basic things, basic aspects one should know. If you have studied analog and digital electronics, you have many of things you'll be knowing it. So within the short period of time, we may not be able to cover majority of it. I'll be just briefing out some important aspects. So one of we have many. Okay, I am interested in electronics, but in this pandemic situation, I cannot uh, buy some electronic components. What can I do? You can use a simulation tool. Anyhow, you have VTU itself has prescribed a simulation tool, so you can use PSpice or you can use Multisim. So this can be available online, and you can use Multisim Live, where you can use it by just logging in, and you can use it without any downloading or anything. You can just log in and you can start doing digital electronics circuits. Or if you are keen to download it and you have to do it offline without using internet, then you can download the software. It is a licensed software by National Electronics. It's an NI tool. So you can download it and you can do. In the same way, you have PSpice also. You can use PSpice. These are all similar types of simulation tools we can use to get, and even you can use MATLAB Simulink. There also we can rig up the circuit and we can uh, try to see what is the output. See, whenever in a design field, whenever we want to design, we'll not directly get into the circuits and start designing it. We simulate it. Once the simulation is perfect, then we go for actual physical connections. So for that, to get into the physical connection, we have to do simulation. So these are all the wonderful tools which are available. You can use it, and when you start using it, you'll know the beauty of it, and you'll try to, because all the components are available there. You can make wonders. You can create your own circuit, and you can any you can take any problems which problems which is existing prevailing, and you can try to solve it by making small circuits, small projects, and integrating them with the software platform. So like that, so it provides an accurate simulation of digital and analog circuit operation, and these are all used for IC component circuit to study the circuit characteristics. Now, after all the stories, why ADE for information science engineering? That comes. So why we have to study? I have joined information science engineering, computer science engineering, because I want to become a software engineer. Why I want this? Analog and digital electronics. This is dedicated only for electronics and communication or telecommunication or electrical students. Why I need to study? This kind of attitude many of the CSI students will be having. Please remember, we are in an era, everything is interdisciplinary. You need to work with other discipline also. So you cannot tell, I know only this and I'll be doing this. It's not like that. That is the reason why they have kept all the basic subjects in first year, civil, mechanical, all those things. Because if you want to become an engineer, you should know basic things. Because see, as an engineer, we should have a broad vision of our career. We should be able to adapt to the change in the environment. Today, you might be working for Infosys, where you might be working only on a based work. So tomorrow you might join a product-based company which is going to work on a mobile phone technology. There again, you might be put it into some domain where you have to know some basic knowledge about electronics. So that is where this analog and digital electronics, all those things you have to learn again. So instead of learning at that time, if you know this things at now in the initial stage, it will be good even in the placements also, because nowadays companies, in my experience as a placement officer in BMS IT, have interacted with hundreds of companies in a year. So everyone are looking for a creative minds. They want creative minds, not only the percentage. Percentage is very important. Yes, it's a gate. To get into that, you need percentage. After that, you need knowledge. So, so every subject, whatever they kept, they're not. Nobody's not us. They're not kept the subject simply. There is a reason behind this. So let us see what is that reason. Electronics and information technology. See, EIT, many of the colleges, deemed universities have this and, engineering only. BTech in electronics and information technology, BTech in electronics and computer science. So because mixture of hardware and software is very much essential to sustain in this IT field. So it includes computer hardware and software, operating system, web-based information and appliances, telephones and telecommunication products, video equipments, multimedia products, information kiosks, office products, photocopiers, fax machines. See, many are there. Everywhere we need software. Everywhere we need a software engineer. At the same time, everywhere we need an hardware engineer, electronics engineer. So if you have a knowledge of some part of electronics, it will be easy for you to program it. You know how a particular device is going to work, and you know how the what is the logic of that particular device. Then you can program it easily. Without knowing the product or a component, how it is going to work or how it is going to respond, it is not so easy to just program. So you should know how my program is going to activate that device. So to process any information, the knowledge of electronics is needed for proper programming. Programming is a logic. To that logic, that logic should match with the component or a hardware, whatever you are using. If you want to know how my, suppose I have a temperature sensor, it's going to sense the temperature. I want to program it. That sensor, I want to program it and I want to do some function in that. So I need to know how actually the electronic component or what is the background of it, what it contains. Then I can program it and then I can do it. So that is why they have kept this subject for you. So now, where do we use this ADE knowledge? Is it simply I'm doing it? So later on, I'll discuss about. You might think I'm planning to go for software, purely software. Why I need this, and later on I'll be explaining why, what is, where to go, where and how to choose everything. You'll understand. So where we can use ADE knowledge? That is the next question. So as I told, we are AD is useful in information technology. It's just an ATM machine we have, a kiosk machine we have. So there you have to program it. At the same time, you need to know how the screen is going to work. If we have a touch screen, what makes, again electronics comes there. So what is the logic there? When a pressure is applied on that, based upon how much pressure is applied on that, that particular key is activated. That particular key is activated means that particular program has to run. See the interlink. There is a relation between our electronics and software. This integration or this interface has to be created means you need to know this knowledge. And any equipment or any interconnected or any creation or conversion, duplication of data, everywhere we need this. So AD is useful in hardware design and interaction of software with the hardware and troubleshooting the problem on occurrence. See, you are working on particular software and something happens. Let us assume you something happens in your device, or you are using some model or microcontroller, or you are using computer itself. Something a silly mistake happens, or a small switch has gone. Because of that, your CPU is not starting up. If you know the basic knowledge that you can just short two wires of a switch, and you can switch on your CPU, or you can just replace that switch, or if you know that the basic knowledge, you can do the repair yourself, or any complex designing things. You will be not be dependent upon hardware engineers, because if you know the basic knowledge of this, you will be having the uh, overall control over the system. So you can troubleshoot the problem on occurrence, even for a smallest uh, fault or an error. We may not be we should not wait for the hardware engineer to come or electronics engineer to come. So AD information technology includes, it is a vast field. But it is not limited to telecommunication product. See, a telecommunication product, today we tell IoT, Internet of Things. Again, their sensor will come into picture. Again, when sensors come, electronics will come. So, and as I told, kiosks, transaction machines, ATMs, everywhere we need to know it. Now, what are the coming after knowing all these things? Let us try to fetch some job opportunities where, see, when we look about the different job opportunities, when we look into the engineering domain, apart from rest of the things, only engineering, mainly we classify it as two things. One is product based company, other one is service based company. These are the two things we classify. So these are some of the here there is a mixture of both product as well as service based companies. And product based means, product based company means they are working on a particular product. They'll come up, they're going to release into the market with some particular product. Service based companies means they are going to just maintain a particular website. Let us take IRCTC is taken care by TCS. Those people, what they'll do, they'll be just taking care, they'll be servicing IRCTC websites, all those things, and they'll be taking care of it. They'll be monitoring it, testing it. So it is service. They are just providing the service. So, but in the given list, majority are product-based companies. See, Continental, we have Bosch, we have. See, these are all automation or automotive electronics or based companies where it's they're coming up with a product. We have KPIT or General Electric. So Philips, we have. So Amazon, we have Nokia, SAP, Siemens. Like this, we have lot of companies who are going to work both for service as well as product. But a product-based company, it is perk. We call it as the product-based company, the perk, because that has a lot of benefits and a long. Also, in terms of salaries, you'll be getting good high-end salaries, and also you'll be having a very good growth. When it comes to artificial intelligence, everything, we have a lot of opportunities in product-based companies. So these are some of the companies we should have some knowledge. So which are the companies we have? Also, there are a lot of companies. I've just taken few examples here. So now everyone will tell, if you have any your elder brother, sister, or anyone who is working in uh, companies, or anyone, your faculties, they'll be telling, so try for a product based companies. Why? Because product based company in IT industry, the perks, that means they are the most beneficiaries. They are going to get better than what others are going to get. Why? Because first thing is, see, when it comes to recession or when it comes to any of the uh, financial or economical dips. So during that time, the product-based companies, they're not going to throw the employees from their companies. Why? Because they are working on a product which is going to be released after 4 to 5 years. So whatever we are getting the product today, that might have been designed for 3, 4 years or 5 years back only. So when you are going to design a product, they are going to keep some amount of money, because when they they are going to decide to design a product and launch it to the market. They are going to specify some funds, and it will be there, including the salaries of the employees, everything. So for the next 4 5 years, you'll be safe, because they're not going to touch your jobs, because you are going to work on a product which is going to come after 4 5 years. But when it comes to service-based companies, they are working on service. Today, say, let us take for last in pandemic situation, many of the services were off. Trains were not running, like that. Many things were off. So during that time, the service-based companies, they might throw the employees, because they are not getting any uh, work. Then what they'll do, because they are working on the present situation, if present situation they are not getting any work, they'll try to throw. But product-based company, it's not like that, because you can get ownership to work. You will be, because if you are good in that, if it's your initiative, if you are it's your creative work, you can be a part of that patent. So it's, you'll have ownership to work, if you, and you can get to learn and be a creative at work. You will learn new things, you are, and you can create, you can be creative, you can design by your own, based upon your knowledge. In service-based company, it will be not like that. They will be working on, already it's existing, they'll be just working on the same thing. It's just like a clerical work. Work with a purpose. There is a target which you need to reach. That means you need to come out, this output I need to get after within this time. So there is a purpose, intrinsic motivation. There will be motivation to work. Say they'll be telling, if you are going to reach, if you are going to launch this product, this will be making a very much boom in the market. So you'll be getting some bonus, all those things. So it creates a kind of intrinsic motivation, and you'll get an opportunity to grow, because products will be keep on launching. So if you take any mobile phone, there are a lot of versions of mobile phone, they keep on changing. See, they are not only changing the software, they're also upgrading their design. Year by year, they're upgrading, month by month they're upgrading. So you'll be having a lot of opportunities there. Next, now the trend is interdisciplinary. Finally, to close the gap, because uh, before that there was something called oh, you are mechanical, oh, you need to use mechanical devices, mechanical components, you need to work. But there was something, some gap was created. They uh, because of some that gap, that particular performance of that device was not up to the mark. Or you are a civil engineer, because of some limitations there, we are not able to close that gap. But now it's interdisciplinary. That means there we are going to cooperate to one another. So software engineer is going to work on a civil based project, he is going to program it, he is going to create a software for that, everything. So you can see that everything is interrelated. If you take an electric bicycle, a lot of things comes into picture, the mechanical aspect, electronics aspect, software aspects, many things will come. IoT, if you take internet of things, so you'll be getting networking aspects will come. So and sensors, electronic aspects will come. And again, if you are using any machineries, machinery aspects will come. So like that, everything is dependent on one another. So if you know more things, it is good, because trend is interdisciplinary. We have to work, we should not stick on to one particular domain. I mean, one particular domain, you should not tell, I know only I programming, I don't know about other thing, I cannot work. See, that creates a very narrow path. And now we are going to, if you are going to have a mobile, see, or mobile or you just take a remote control of your TV. If it falls, what happens? Automatically, it becomes two pieces. One piece is the entire remote, other piece is the cap of the shell, and the shell might come out or shell might be inside. The cap of the shell will come out. See, there is a design. Otherwise, there is a proper designing by a mechanical engineer. So he has designed that product in such a way that once it falls, it has to come out like that. If he has not designed it like that, obviously we might have lost the entire remote controller itself. It would have become into pieces. If anything, if a wireless mouse falls, it becomes into two pieces. Again, we can join it. The cap will come out. The rest of the part will be separate. So they've designed in such a way so keeping the all the aspects. See, we you know to have this mouse or you know to have a remote controller, we might tell it's an electronic device, but we need a mechanical person to design it. And again, we need a computer science student or an information science program based engineer who is going to program it such that it will work like that. We need an electronics person to know it. For that, we need to know the chemistry behind that. We need to know what kind of components I should use such that my device becomes lesser weight. See, lot of things will come into picture. So, trend of interdisciplinary is now we are having to close the gap. So whatever the gap was there, that is getting closed because all the disciplines are going to work together to come up with a product. So that's why we feel some companies why they are hiring they are actually electronics based company or they are actually software based company. Why they are hiring a sales person? Because of this. Because recently I got a call from one of the civil based company and they were asking we need computer science or EC or ET or ISE students. I was asking them, so why you need? Because they told we are making some automated device in their civil industry. For that we need a programmer. See, there you need to know all the aspects, how the device works, all those things. So now everything is interdisciplinary. Now, why we should be innovative? Everyone will should tell that. Faculties will be telling, everyone will be telling, you should be innovative, you should be creative. Why? What is this creativity? What is this invention? What is this innovation? The first step is creativity. In this process, the first thing is creativity. The act of turning new and imaginative ideas into reality. So you imagine something comes into your mind. You'll feel that, if I have this kind of device, my work would have been simple. Or if I have this kind of device, our surrounding work or someone's problem would have solved. Day-to-day requirement would have solved like that. So that act, how we are going to create that, that is creativity. How I can come out. So that is the rough sketch, how we can come out with reality. Next, after that, invention, creation of new idea or concept. So whatever you have got in your mind, that you need to create with a new idea or concept. After that is innovation, turning a new concept into commercial success or widespread use. So you need to see whatever ideas we have. If you have your ideas only at your brain, it doesn't work out. It becomes dead. But you have to turn out into the products. That is where innovation comes into picture. So, so turning the new ideas or concept into the reality or widespread market is a commercial success. Finally, I need to make someone to buy it. I have some ideas in my mind. I need to make it as a product, and I want to make others to buy it. Then only I can make money. So innovation should be there. Now, coming to this opportunities at student level. Okay, all these things is fine, but what I can do at my level? I'm still in third semester, so still a lot of time is there. Still, almost 2.5 year time is there. I need to finish off my degree. Then let us think. It's not like that. There are a lot of opportunity at student level. So now let us first think about the government level, at the government level or government agencies, what you can get. So these are some of the things even your faculty might have told you. So these are some of the funding agencies or where you can get more things. I'll try to tell you something about this. The first one is the India Innovation Challenge Design Contest. It is organized by Directorate of Science and Technology, MHRD, Government of India. Every year they are going to launch this particular competition. It is open to all. Anyone can participate in this. So finally, there will be different rounds. Starting with synopsis submission. Once your synopsis means brief description about your project. So after once that is accepted, the next round will be there will be some open-ended test. So where a video will be shown. Based on that video, you need some questions will be asked online. So you have to just attend that quiz. So and all your teammates have to qualify for that. Once that is done, you'll enter to the next round. There where they'll if based upon your requirement, they are going to send you the required uh, components or required whatever you want requirements. See, you have an idea in your mind, and to do that, you need some uh, components, or you need some. There are some requirements where you need to spend money. So they'll be giving out around some $200 worth requirements to you. So let us take, I have an electronics based project idea in my mind. I need some cameras, I need some ICs, I need some drone required things. So all of these things, if it comes within $200, they are going to give, or whatever in $200 you can get, they'll give you. You should use that. You should rig up and you should demonstrate it. You should come up with that uh, design, whatever you are told, into a prototype, and again you have to demonstrate it. And if you qualify, then they'll be giving you 30 to 50,000 as a cash prize, which you can again use it for next prototype development. So once you qualify and once you enter into top 20 or 30 finalist, so they'll be giving you 5 lakhs. So by using that 5 lakhs, again you should to do a real-time model. And again in 20 or 30 finalists, if you reach top 10, then government is going to give you around 20 to 30 lakhs. So this will be keep on varying. Last year it was 20 lakhs. It will be keep on varying. Let us take it as 20 lakhs, and also all entrepreneurial benefits. You want to become an entrepreneur and you want to start up a company. For that, whatever the basic requirements you need from the government, everything will be supported by the government. This is what the process. The similar type we have National Innovation Contest. So it is Institution Innovation Council National Innovation Contest. Even this is also done by the government MHRD department. So here also the same process will take place. And finally, so whatever you have quoted, how much if your prototype is working fine, and if you want to make it into real time, prototype means it is a small size. Let us take a drone as lower capacity I have done, but to use the drone in real time, so I need a higher capacity drone. So there again I'll be quoting, I need some 5 lakhs for this. If it is justifiable, they are going to pay you. Again, innovation competitions will be done by IITs, NITs. Every year they are going to, and also they are going to support startups, and also they are going to be they are going to support you by mentoring you or providing any other platform. And there are MSME fundings for small scale enterprises funding. So, but the funding here will be lesser compared to the other level. And KSCST funding, you'll be having your seniors and all. Usually they'll be getting it. So usually this is for final year project. KCST funding will be for final year projects. And also you can do freelance job. See if you're good at web designing. So you can, there are a lot of freelance jobs available. You can design the website and you can charge the prescribed amount from the required one. So where you don't require to open up a company and have an office, anything. If you just have a computer with you, laptop with you, it's fine. That done. You can start earning. So here the question is not only about earning or anything. So your the technical skill sets will also be keep on improving along with uh, money. Both, see, it's kind of the revenue or the financial benefit. It's kind of a motivation to do, because finally whatever we are doing it and whatever why you have joined engineering, to get a job and to make life happier, so to earn more money. That is the final thing. What everything, nobody will tell that it's my pleasure to just study engineering. I want to study engineering. After that, I'll stay at home. It's not like that. Everyone has that vision. Okay, well, so if I join engineering, if I do engineering, and if I get a degree in engineering, so I'll be getting a handful of money, and I can make my life in a better way. So like that. So these things are opportunities which are provided by the government level, and freelance jobs are even at the government level as well as outside also. A lot of if you have just create a network among yourself, you can create this, and there are many more opportunities like this. Here I've listed few of them. Next, what opportunities I can get from industry level? Yes, you told about government. Okay, I'm not interested about the government. I want to join a company. So what I can do? See, these are some of the companies which I have mentioned. Like this, we have many more companies. So every year, KPIT Sparkle. KPIT is a automotive electronics based company. They mainly work for the Benz, Jaguar, and all. They'll be working. So the entire the embedded system is being, they'll be working. It's a product based company and it's from India. Where specifically they are based in Pune. So they have their companies everywhere. Uh, KPIT Sparkle is again competition. So here every year they are going to tell some. They take some real-time problems, especially related to embedded system and related to automobiles. So how to make it more smarter. So based upon that theme, they'll give you a set of themes. Based upon that theme, if you, the set of the different levels of competitions takes place, and finally, if you reach the last level, they will give you a cash prize worth of some few lakhs, and along with that, they offer a job. So irrespective of your percentage or anything, even they'll offer a job. So once you're done with your degree, you can directly go there and join. So this is one thing. And Atos Challenge. Atos is a company. So they are mainly into, again, they are also into automotive electronics and also with respect to artificial intelligence. So they are also every year they are going to uh, have similar kind of challenges and competitions. And Intel Design Contest, which is one of the biggest challenge contest. See, there is no criteria that we should be from NITs, IITs. All the students are allowed. So there is no criteria here. So anyone can, a student from rural engineering college, he can uh, compete in this and he can get into the topmost position. Just you need to have be creative. You need to have zeal, and you should have that motivation to work and market your product. And in similar way, ITC, Infotech, they have innovation challenge, Unisys technical project contest. See, this mainly I have mentioned here. These are all mainly they are going to offer the project contest mainly with respect to the softwares, especially the artificial intelligence, cloud computing, all those things, and Texas Instruments Innovation Challenge, and many more. So these are some of the opportunities where you can get at your level itself, and by the time of end of your engineering, you'll be in a better place, or you'll be having offer with a dream company. And when you try to involve in this kind of uh, competitions, automatically your knowledge will improve, because you have to come out of with a product, or you have to design something, means automatically you learn that, instead of uh, purposefully sitting and learning something. If you are doing with a product, you want to come out with a product, you want to do, you want to compete, so there becomes a survival, kind of a survival uh, kind of a situation, so obviously you will do it. So these are some of the opportunities at industry levels. Now, last, how I can craft a successful engineering career. So because I feel this is the right time where you can start motivating yourself, and you can plan yourself in a proper way, rather than thinking at the 8th semester end or 7th semester end and thinking that, oh, I need to do this, I would have done this in 3rd semester, 4th semester, I would have done like this. All that, instead of that, thinking about the past, let us think about building up our career, how beautiful it should be in future. So let us craft our successful engineering career. So what is your goal in life? Why did you join engineering? This is a common thing everyone will ask. Even if you go for interviews, they'll ask, what is your goal in life? Why did you join engineering? So few of them have these answers. Many of them will have at least some 30 to 40%. They'll tell parents wanted me to join, become an engineer. I wanted to become doctor. I didn't get it. I chose engineering. So few tell I want challenges, curiosity, excitement. Many of them will tell I want to money, travel. I want status, to make difference in the world, to change the things, work like that. Pretty few people will think like that. And I want a job in a big company. I want to start something of my own, entrepreneurship. So like this. So these are some of the reasons why the few students will join engineering. So how do you define success? Do you want to become rich? Do you just want a job with a decent pay? Do you want to change the world? So these are three questions, but this might not be a right time. You might feel that this is not right time to think all about that richness or poorness or everything. There is still a lot of time. Or you can think about, oh, after 10 years or 20 years, let us think about changing the world. You may go 10 to 20 years like this. You might get some job and you can survive. And without answering, also you can keep on. But you have to answer this. How many days will be with 10,000 salary every month? 10 years, 20 years. After that, you need to think about your earnings. Obviously, you'll think about, yes, I need to become rich. Richness means better than what I am today. So set yourself for success according to your own metrics from the start. That's what I was telling. So you start your metrics, what I should do at this level. Oh yes, third sem, so I can do this. Oh, pandemic, I can pass it easily without exam. That's not the way you should think. In the pandemic situation, you should think, "Hey, in this pandemic situation also I need to get a job, so we don't know what will be our future." So you should prepare yourself to the worst situation. Even in the pandemic situation, I want a job, I want to earn. Why? How I can earn? So you should make yourself, because it's for you, you are doing, for your success you are doing. So there is no successful form successful, everyone will tell, no one, for no formula for success. So engineering field that requires many people with different skill to work together. That is what interdisciplinary work, to solve complex problems in a simple way. Like best engineering problems, there is no single algorithm to follow, but there are best practices. We might not be having a single algorithm to all the problems, but we have best practices which we can follow, and we can avoid the errors. There are things to avoid. So do not make all mistakes yourself. Learn from others' errors is much better. That is what a suggestion, and that is what you have seen in many of the status or many of the messages shared. So now, So now the catchy word is startup, startup, startup. So I need a startup. I need to have startup. So I want to become a star. I need to start a startup company. I've seen few students, if they don't get a job, they'll tell, actually, I want to start a company. See, it's a good idea to have both, become to enter into a big corporate or to have your own startup company. But over course of your career, when it comes to startup, are easier when you are young. So because you will be not having any uh, financial responsibility, not much, not all will not be having financial responsibility, and financial responsibility in the sense you'll be still a single. You can dedicate more time, more energy, and less to lose. So you can be the way you are. Like a student, you can extend your life for few more years. The way simple life you are leading as a student, the same simple life you can lead for few more years. And once your startup company goes up, you can make your life, the quality of life can be improved. So, but most of the startups will fail. Overall, it's a less overall stability, but it's a good idea, and it's also a right time to be there. But you should be very clear about what you want to become, what startups you want to have. So big companies have more opportunities to change the world incrementally, because see, whatever startups we are having, we have to uh, uh, so finally we have to uh, fight with the big corporates. So remember that those increments can add up over time. So if you are in big corporate, both are good ideas. Where you are in big corporates, your life suddenly becomes easier, and in startups, your life slowly becomes easier. So that is the small difference what I can tell. So you'll be having every year increments will be there. In startups, you need to sacrifice a lot. But once your startup works out fine, then everything is yours. Is in your hand. So more stable, but sometimes that also means boring. So every day the same thing you have to do. Your manager will be scolding you, or team lead will be scolding you. So that becomes boring. Someone will be scolding, but in startup you are the owner. You can do whatever you want. So both has their own advantages as well as disadvantages. So both are exhilarating, and both are very frustrating also, I can tell. So it can be frustrating also. So now getting hired, how to I should get hired. See where to work. First thing is, so you should think. See, first thing is, yes, we should get a job. What our company, I should get a job. Fine, but when you have an option, so then you can decide it properly. So if you are having good options, so then think on the mission of the company. Do you believe in that? How outstanding is the team? How well run is the company? Whether a good company? See in the glass doors and all, see the rating of the companies. So if you have a two or three options, then you can go. You have to think about these factors. So will this position leverage your strengths and demand intellectual growth, geography, local culture, educational opportunities, all those things? Yes, I can. After joining here, can I make my masters? That I should think, or like that. So then consider salary, bonuses, stock, benefits, like that. Okay. So then you should consider all these things: salary, bonus, stock, benefits, everything. So first you need to think about this, because at the joining level, suddenly you should not jump to the conclusion of salary, bonus, stock, or benefits. So you should think on this, because this is which are the important factors to which is going to lead you in a longer run in the career. So our first job. So no matter what it is, it becomes best involved at it. So first job becomes, yes, first job is always the best job we feel because that is where we earn money. First time we get our own earned money. So plan on 2, 3 years to get really comfortable and productive. So if you get your first job in any position, so you are be try to be comfortable for 2, 3 years at least. Don't keep on changing for 6 months or 1 year. So be productive because in your resume you should have something to tell and work hard as you can. You're setting your own reputation and trajectory. Only top performers have choice of options for next project. Find mentors, role models. So don't be silent. You should be very active. That's why I told you should be creative, active, proactive. So don't let your team down. So you should not keep on backbiting your teammates and letting your team down. Settle for nothing less than outstanding work. Building your career. So focus on you, know your career path. So individual contributor or you are at management level. So technology challenges, changes will be rapidly. Keep yourself updated. So you should be keep on look for trainings, attend workshops which are conducted by the college, and go for trainings. Online trainings are there. Your college will be conducting workshops. Try to get practical knowledge and also focus on the company, align your career to what the company cares about. So these are all the things which you need to focus on in later stage. But if you have something in your mind, so you can plan yourself. That is my thing. So communications, writing, presentations. Writing and presentation is very important. Presentation skill you have to start improving. So so corporate team culture, legal stuff, and if you are if you are going to be even in this stage also, if you are going to uh, invent something, you are going to have some product which is very innovative and which is very novel. No one has have that product. Get a patent of that. So patent is the one which is going to run for a longer way. So dealing with the failure. If you never fail, you aren't trying hard enough. So if everything is comfortable, so that means you are taking your life very easy. So not all failures are equally forgivable. So you should think about that. So learn from failures. Don't start blaming about others. It was like that. That's why it happened. Like that. Own up and take responsibility. Take ownership of yourself. So last is engineering employment. So corporations and firms of the past no longer exist. Please remember this. Employment opportunity lie with companies of all sizes. A small company which is having 2-3% to a bigger company which is having lakhs together employees. Engineers of the future, because you are the engineers of the future, should expect to be constantly improving their skill and marketability. You should market yourself. You should market yourself, how good you are in your skills and all. So continuing education, flexibility, willingness to shift employment will be required for successful engineers. So I wish have a successful engineering career. So I'll just give a glimpse. I'll take one case study for what we have done with my students, what I have done, and I'll just try to give an idea how to go ahead with. I told you about different competitions at government level and all. So 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 we have done many projects. These are some of my works. A few of them I have filed the patent. So in that, one of the work was last year we had Vision project, Vigilant Intelligent Sensing Drone. So this was a project which has been carried out by Electronics and Telecom. I had two students from electronics and telecommunication and two students from computer science engineering. So why I'm telling this one is everywhere you have that electronics and computer science or information science, they come together to come up with a product. This was one of the product where we got shortlisted for top 20 and we got in top 19 position across India. Out of 12,640 projects, we got into 19th position in across India. We got 5 lakhs as a fund, but we couldn't get into top 10. Uh, so we would have done it much better. So how we should start? I'll just go on with this. So so this vision, I'm just telling your idea should start like this problem statement. So it was I'll just tell the overview. So it is a drone based project. I have filed a patent on this. So here we'll be having a camera and a Raspberry Pi mini computer where I want to search someone in a crowd or where I want to search some person in a disaster. So there during that time, I'm going to just give the position or the walking style or the overall body look of a person. The drone starts searching. It is an autonomous drone. It will start searching in the crowd. See, the way we have designed the software in such a way that it doesn't require the entire body photo in the video. If it can only see some half part or the way he is going to walk, it is going to follow him and it is going to give the information and it is going to predict where he can move next. That was the project which we had done and which was implemented successfully. So it was helpful in unsolved criminal cases, searching missing people, rescuing the disaster. So, so drone was used. And computer vision CV was used, facial recognition, GPS location, person tracker, path prediction. These were all done. So this was the drone which we had designed and presented. Business content. See, whatever you will come, finally, whether it is any competition, they'll come with business. They'll ask you business content, how you can market your product, and how you can, how much business can be generated. Because if governments want to buy it or some companies want to buy it, they're looking for business. So how they can make money. So it should be clear about the market trend. See, we came to know that market trend is keep on increasing with this kind of system, especially related to drone and all. So it is keep on increasing in a linear way. So this was the trend in 2020s. So selling point. So they might ask, oh, you have a drone which is having camera, all those things. What is uniqueness in it? Should be very clear about that uniqueness. So path prediction, low data set requirement, autonomous tracking. We don't need to control it. Automatically it is going to fly and automatically it will come back to the position where it was after a particular time. We need to just locate the points. Brief manufacture product, how you are going to do this 3D printing of mechanical parts, assembly, acquiring technical components. These are the three things. Technology content they'll ask you. So what is, how you, suppose I want to, someone will buy this product, how you are going to manage everything. So you should be ready with every answer. Yes, they'll ask you, if you go for any MHRD based competitions, India Innovation Challenge and all, because they'll be funding you for a startup. So they'll ask you, if I'm going to fund you for a startup, so how you are going to make your product feasible for. So we'll have a technical support, we'll have a training and demo, we'll have a website which is going to have a chatbot and which is going to explain everything like that. It should be very clear. So how strong it is? It's rigorous and algorithm is advanced. Algorithm advancement will be done, and customer feedback will be taking continuously. So it depends upon the migration part to upgrading technology. Depends upon physical factors, social factors, economical infrastructure. You should also think about. I told you, risk factors. Everything you should think. should not tell something which is impossible. So this was the thing we told how actually we are going to work, how we are going to fabricate, and finally we are going to give out the product. Business innovativeness. How innovative is our business? Changing according to the customer requirement, pricing strategies. Innovative distributed channels will be using to distribute our product. So advertisement and launch by using social media. So increasing the production to reduce the cost of the product, implementing new procedures, technologies, advancing equipments and softwares. So production, see, this is a pyramid of achieving this. So support services should be there, and delivery chain should be there, and production, manufacturing production should be there. So all this together forms a pyramid. Pyramid. So again, they'll ask you, okay, fine, how you are going to, if you are going to start up a company, how you are going to generate your revenue? You cannot tell simply an idea. I should tell how you can generate money, because you have to run the company. The government will not be keep on giving money. Once it will give you and you can start up it. After that, how you are going to maintain it? So we told that by selling the product, by licensing, because drone and all these kind of things, we have to license it. Without license, we cannot use these kind of things. So by selling the product on demand, fees for the services which provide, or we can rent the product. So that's about my presentation. So in this time, I have tried to give an overview of the importance of ADE and also some claims about how to prepare yourself for your future career. So if you have any help, you can contact me through this mail ID. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Good evening, all. Myself, Priyanka, Assistant Professor,
Good evening,
Department of
ma'am.
Medicine, HKVKC. And thank you, sir. Thank you for your wonderful presentation and
Thank you.
the valuable inputs on the successful engineering career. And then about, you have given so much of information about the companies like corporates and also startups, and thank you for that. I hope students are got useful information from all these things. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
And on behalf of the Department of ISC, HKVKC, I thank you. I thank Professor Raghunandan, sir. And then I thank our coordinator, Professor Shrikanta B. And also I thank our principal and HOD and also Professor Reshma Raj, who are the supporters and who are helping for a smooth conduction of this program. And finally, I thank all the students who have given their who have attended this wonderful SDP on advanced learning technique in analog and digital electronic circuits. And thank you, everybody. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much, ma'am, and all the best, my dear students. Have a wonderful career. Thank you.
One sec, sir.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you, Raghunandan sir, for time.
Thank you very much, sir. Thanks for inviting me.
We are given so much time for our students to teach about that advanced learning techniques in analog and digital electronics. Thank you for a wonderful session, sir. Thank you.
Thanks to Shrikant sir for inviting me and to be a part of this session. Hope our coordination or cooperation will continue further, and let us make the student more beneficiary from the teaching faculty.
Okay. If your students, if you have any doubts, you can ask, sir, because he is the author of analog and digital electronic subjects. Okay, and next semester you have microcontroller. Okay, if you have any doubts, you can ask sir only, because your author will be there. Okay, you have to ask anything about related to that textbook. If you have any doubts, you can ask them.
If you have any doubts with anything with respect to AD or in placement, you can ask me.
Because he is a placement in charge for that BMS IT. Okay, if you want any internship, internship and all, you can ask directly. You have to serve. Okay, and you are in for related to subject, you can ask anytime. Okay, any doubts here, students?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay,
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 so
thank you. No doubts. Okay, thank you all students. Okay, for both A section and B section students. Okay, thank you all of you. Thank
Sir,
you,
check
Professor
the
Ranu.
chat box.
Okay, tell me, Jessila.
Check the chat box, sir.
Okay. Okay,
The
okay.
today class is very knowledgeable, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Especially that analog and digital difference. It was really well explained.
thank you. Thank you very much.
You can give the feedback also, sir, also there. Okay. Anyone you can talk.
Yes,
Jessila,
sir.
you can talk.
We gained a lot of knowledge about our subject. Like still now, we just studied the modules and everything. Today, we understood what is ADE and more about it. It was really helpful, sir. The real difference between digital, analog, and really thank you so much, sir. We understood the basic and the importance of the knowledge about the subject.
Thank you, Jessila, for your feedback.
Any others? Anybody is there?
Also, we learned how it is used, how it is implemented in our daily life, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Can anybody? You can give the feedback. Anybody is there? Okay. Sir is already mentioning chat box. His email ID and all. If you have any doubts related to subject or placement activities and all, you can okay. You can mail to sir. Then they'll help for our students and all. Okay.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
Okay. Sir already mentioned in that chat box. You have to, okay. You have to communicate with sir only. Any doubts here?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Raghunandan sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Shrikant sir.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a nice day, students. All the best.
Okay, good evening. Have a nice day for all. Okay. Thank you, all of you. Thank you, all students.